clothing, and Jess has been bringing a lot of clothes. Now that spring's coming, there's been a few requests. We have a lot of infants, so there's been diapers, baby clothes, things like that.
Okay, do we need anything, or are you set pretty much?
Right now, we're set.
We're set, okay, so you let me know if we need to send out an email for donation.
We want to welcome today Undersecretary Gornstein, who came to all the way from Boston, I'm assuming, or further.
Yeah.
So we're glad
And
you're
going back to Boston.
going back to. So the attendance sheet is going around. If you haven't signed in, we'll pass it around, and please make sure you do.
Okay, so thanks for coming.
Oh, thank you for having me. I'm sorry we had to reschedule a couple of times. Elizabeth, I did have a legitimate excuse, however. Yeah, I've been out for a couple months. I had bypass surgery 7 weeks ago. So, but I'm back, and it's great to be here, and great to be, it's one of my first trips out, so.
So we can't aggravate.
You'll have to be nice to me, at least for this meeting, maybe next meeting. Well, first of all, thank you for all your work in the motel and in other areas that on affordable housing and community development. Appreciate all the great work that's going on. I thought I'd update you on the homeless issue because that seems to be what you're focusing mostly on. And then I'm happy to take any questions about any of the programs or initiatives that you have in the department. So our focus, as you know, has been trying to reduce the number of families in the hotels and motels. And we started ramping up our efforts in July of 2012 when the fiscal year started. The legislature provided some new resources to us, and there were, as you know, also eligibility changes in the shelter system. So a lot was happening really from July to about December. And then we're fully implementing as of December. So if you look at December 1st compared to today, we had on December 1st 1,802 families in the motels that had peaked at that point. Historically, it's gone up and down, but it was starting to go back up after the home-based program had brought the numbers down back in 2011, and then things were going back up, and we were peaking at 1,802, which is pretty much our capacity at the motels. We were actually looking at whether we would have to contract for more motels, which we really didn't want to do given the high costs. It is $3,000 a month per family, and just everyone thinks we got to do better than spending $3,000 a month, and we know the limitations of the motels and not being able to get services there, etc. So now, as of last night, we are down to 1,263. So just in about 3 months or so, we've gone down. We've reduced the numbers by 500, roughly 540 families in the motel. So it's going in the right direction. And I think we're on track to have the numbers down to about 1,000 or less by June 30th, which is the end of our fiscal year. So that was our initial goal. We're actually ahead of that pace. So the reason we've been able to do it is a number, and you know how difficult it is to lease up and find housing, particularly as you get closer to Boston, the rental market's very tight. So we're very pleased with the progress there, and we're expecting the remaining households to lease up in the next 60 days or so. They're actively searching and will be leaving shelter within the next few months.
We were delighted to have Undersecretary Gornstein join us today. He was able to explain to us what is going on statewide in terms of the home-based money, in terms of support for families that are living in motels, and what we're going to see in the future as we move to the next fiscal year and the next budget. Although the news was not all bad, some of it was very encouraging. We were most delighted with Secretary Gornstein's statement that he will be working with the motel that we have families in to try and make the situation there much better. And that's a good thing for us. More than enough to arrange a social connection trip. So we were thinking about stopping at the laundromat, dropping off the laundry, actually giving some quarters for the machines, then doing something social, bringing back to put the laundry in the dryer, then going out to eat, and then bringing everybody back to pick up the laundry and back again.